Let's see if we're actually on, if you guys can hear me. And check, check. Yep, you can hear it. Let's see if we're actually on, if you guys can hear it. All right. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. I'm still testing out the live stream setup here, so bear with me. I'm going to work on the lighting. It's a little bright for my liking, but I don't have backlight set up yet. So if I turn off the overhead fluorescence, it gets really dark behind me. But I'm working on Amityville Barbie here, as you see, doing a little editing. I have off of working for my clients right now for the weekend, so I'm trying to squeeze in a little Amityville Barbie VFX. So right now we have, and I'll show you guys if you're interested in the cool world of digital VFX. What you see in here is there's stuntman Corey Fackler, who's our Deado #1. He is on a stunt rigging line here. He's got a couple lines here. So in this scene, he gets punched by Barbie, and we shot this in 60 frames per second, I believe, so that we could do like a super slow-mo thing. So right now it's still it's shot in 60 frames per second, and it's on a 24 frames per second timeline, so it plays a little slower. But what that does is it allows me to stretch out and slow down the footage, and it doesn't like get choppy. So you recorded at a faster frame rate, you have more frames to play with in between, so that when you use a slower frame rate, you still have high quality footage. There's no motion blur. So if you shoot in 24 frames and you try and slow it down in 24 frames, you get some motion blur. Now Resolve has new AI tech in here that corrects a lot of that. So it's in the newest Resolve, which I'm still learning a lot of. So I'll probably have to use it a little bit. The motion blurring, so it fills in. I might not have to use it. I might just need a little motion blur, like I said, but it fills in space between where there might be gaps in the slow motion frame. But yeah, since we framed it in the proper frame rate, I might not need to use it. So there we go. Jog wheel and that enabled. You see Corey going up. Boom. And Justin does a little dance, and Corey comes down. Anthony takes his wig off and smash. Corey crashes into our breakaway crate. Boom. So that's one of our stunts, giving it away. Spoilers. But yeah, so I had to get creative with this to erase. Not only do I have to erase the lines on Corey here, we're going to go back. We have 3 clips of Corey in super slow-mo that we're going to do VFX on. So here's the first one. This is him going up. This is from a standing position. Barbie hits him with an uppercut, so he has to go from standing to going up into the air. So we're only going to capture a couple seconds of each of these because it's going to be so slow. And we're going to go to cut out of it. Pow. Boom. And you're going to go up. All right, so a few things I have to do here in this one, and I'll jump back to my timeline. I've already made a magic mask over Corey, so we have multiple layers of Corey here. Here's our top layer. Let's see, and then below him, there's a layer of over here, a layer of the pink speed lines are underneath our masked out Corey. So Corey flying, I have two layers of Corey flying on top of each other with some stuff in between. And the very top one has a magic mask on it so that it cuts out everything but Corey so that we can see the layers below it. Then way underneath that, I also have a plate shot, which is just a bit of footage recorded from overhead of nothing but our set right here without Corey in the shot at all, just the floor and the rock and roll knife fight crate. So now if I hit this button right here, boom, I put my crowbar in. So we have a crowbar here. Now there is what I have to do is match this up. All the way down. If I turn off both Coreys, boom. So now, where do we go? There it is. So now both Coreys are turned off, and I have there's a physical crowbar on the crate, and there's a VFX crowbar that I laid on the crate. But I just blew up. I zoomed in a little bit because I wanted to cut out and make it easier on myself by taking one of Corey's hands out that was getting cut up in the wires. So I didn't want to do that. So I made the frame a little bigger, so now I have to match my crowbar here on my frame. So size them up a little bit, move them over the top. Pretty good. 0.6. That's not too bad. So it doesn't have to match exactly because once I turn the Corey layers back on, then you won't see the one underneath anyway because there was no crowbar when Corey was actually flying on the wires. So I just wanted to kind of match where it's at. It's pretty good. I'm going to slide it up a little bit to make sure that our edges match. I feel like I could rotate it a little bit too. So there's a rotation angle here. Yeah, there we go. I feel like that's better. Put that over there. All right, so now our crowbar is matched up. So now when I turn Corey back on his layers here, that crowbar is over Corey, but that's our under layer, so that doesn't matter because we got to go back up here and turn our top layer Corey on. And now you see Corey is layered over top because this layer has the magic mask around it, eliminating everything else around him. And we see our crowbar. So I'll put some motion blur on that and fade it in a little better. But the idea is that as Corey comes down here, he goes up. And then as he eventually comes down, he will smash. I don't have that. And I didn't mask this out yet, so you can't see the crowbar on this one. You can see it on the middle one. See him coming down, the crowbar's there. So when he hits, that crowbar is going to fly up in the air towards camera. So that's why this one is really long, because he's going to lay there for a second, and the crowbar is just going to come straight up towards this way. Up at camera is the idea. And then we cut away to Jessa, close up on her hand as she catches the crowbar. And there's our our hero moment. So it's coming along. And yeah, so now what I probably want to do is, because you can still see everything on this first take here. So when I turn it off, now all the wires go away. There are wires underneath as well. So now the wires are gone. We see our crowbar underneath as Corey's going up. And I can actually probably turn... In this one, I will probably turn the fake crowbar off because now we have the real crowbar showing from our underneath layer. So yeah, I turn the... So we can see the real crowbar in there. Has a shadow, looks more realistic. It's during the slow motion, so that's going to sell a lot better. And then once we get to our actual falling shot here where he hits the thing, it's going to happen. So at that point, the crowbar will be sitting on the edge. He'll hit it. And it's going to happen quick enough that the missing shadow, maybe I'll put a shadow in, we'll see. But it's not going to be as noticeable. So we'll just put the real crowbar in at the... I'm sorry, the fake crowbar in at the very end. And yeah, actually, I probably just have to cut because I don't have to mask him out necessarily. On this one, I just have to erase all this. So, which isn't a problem. It's as long as his, well, it's going to be a problem where his, no, actually, boom. Great performance. That's great. I was worried about, as Corey comes down, the biggest problem here when we're doing VFX on something like this is when Corey's hand on the other side of the stunt wire here, of the rigging wire, when it passes behind it, that creates a VFX nightmare. So Corey, being the professional that he is, he keeps his arm up. Boom. Keeps it away from the line. So the only thing I really have to do is come in and paint out the line right there. I don't have to worry about a whole lot of repainting a hand or piece of a hand back in that gets cut out, clone stamping a hand back in there. We can just clone stamp out the wire. And for all this part, it's real easy because I have a plate shot underneath. So I just can mask out that big chunk right there. It'll just really be the knot right there that's over top of our box. That'll be the trickiest thing to VFX out there. So I'm not going to do it all today, but I am going to come back here to this one. I'm trying to, yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. Going up. And his foot kind of disappears a little bit here in the corner, so I'll have to touch that up. Back into our magic mask. This back on. You can see right there, the red disappears from the foot. There's our mask. It's back on in the next frame, so there's a couple frames where we see it down here. Okay, so we're gonna have to pick it up. Here's the beauty of of Resolve. So I'm gonna bring it up to about there where we start to see the foot peeking in. I'll grab my little add eyedropper down here, zoom in on our spot, click on the foot. Bang, it adds it to the mask, right? It also added some other stuff, so we want to switch back to our faster. Do our better. So I'm getting a little red in here, but we'll see if that's not going to... I'm not as worried about that because it's just the ground anyway, which I'm not worried about. We can see the ground. If it had black wires in it, I'd be more worried if some of this was getting grabbed, but it's not. So if it's grabbing the ground underneath it, I'm not as worried. So now we have to retrack everything. So all I do is click a button, and now my beast of a processor does its thing and should have tracked the foot properly. Well, I see it again down here. It missed it. So we'll have to add a little more in that one spot. Catch his foot at the beginning. We're already zoomed in. I click. Yeah, you can't see my down here. It's not as big, but up there now it's on. And if I advance ahead, it's pretty good. I think I see a heel that wasn't picked up. Yeah, both of the heels seem to have not been picked up. So I'm going to go to the last one we see them on. Right back here, we see them both. Zoom in. Click on the heel. And click on the heel. Should grab it. Yep. So now I, once again, one button, track it backwards to capture the heel on the way up. So let's see now. Yep, good. Pretty good. It's still missing some stuff here. All right, we got to go in and just. So sometimes you literally have to go in and just drop it on for each frame that's missing the mask and run it back. Boom. Okay, I'm missing a little bit of the heel there. Pop it on. Wait for the processor to do its thing and run it back. The fascinating world of VFX, right? In there again. Let's capture that heel. Everything else is looking good. Oh man, I can see Corey's pads. If that's really standing out in VFX, I'm gonna have to paint some of that out. But that's pretty easy. So if you see what I'm talking about here, if I turn them, now you see on the leg right there, you start to see some of the honeycomb pattern pushing through on his wardrobe. So very easy to paint out. Again, we can go in and just blur some of that. The only thing is, yeah, this is a super slow-mo shot, which makes it a little, you have to be a little more precise with them when you go in and touch these up. If this was just a regular speed shot, stuff happens so fast at regular speed. It's a little easier, there's a little more play, it's a little more forgiving. But yeah, in this one it's super slow mo, so we might have to take our time painting some of it out and make sure that it looks good. All right, so I think we got. Let's see what the next one is. Yeah, I gotta click my red back on. We're good. Good. Pretty good. What was that one? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it seems to have gotten everything else. There's a little bit of shirt that cuts in and out up there that I'm a little. I feel like maybe I should grab it, but if y'all noticed a little bit of shirt cutting in and out, I didn't do a very good job in the first place then, right? With the story. I think that's good. I think we're gonna hang there for now. All right. I kind of want to render this one in place because I like it. Without having painted out all of the. Obviously, he has ropes, lines still coming across his shirt that I'll have to go in and paint out later. But I think I'm going to do that after I render out a composite of this as is, because I don't want to play too much now that I have a nice, pretty clean mask working. So that's my timeline. Render test from the output. Render test commit output. Generate optimized media. Fusion. Render in place. There it is. And QuickTime Apple ProRes and Queen has included video effects. Include color grading effects. I don't work on an Apple. I don't know why. It always makes me everything always set for Apple. Format's QuickTime. I guess that's why. So let's change that to a MP4. 65 NVIDIA. Yes. Source resolution. Sounds about right. And this will be Corey up 1. Select the folder. Select folder. Okay. I guess it just rendered. I don't use render in place much. I'm gonna have to figure out how that works. So is this now a rendered shot that I don't have to play with anymore? No, it's still got all the stuff in there. The shadow. Oh, that's right. I have to turn on. That's right. I forgot I have a half of a mask on here. I have to turn on this one. So, this one? There it is. Okay. So what I did there, I have a power window that also masks, that cuts out the top half of the screen on the lower layer, so that we lose all of those. So right now you see lines. Now you don't. So it takes all that out. What it's also doing is also taking out the fake, putting the fake, the real crowbar in underneath the fake crowbar. And it also, so if I don't use this mask, I also don't get Corey's shadows as he goes up in the air. So I'll show you what I mean. If I turn that mask off, now we see our lines. There's our Corey top layer with the mask. There's our Corey bottom layer without the mask. Now if I turn that off so that I lose those lines up here, and I lost the lines because I turned the bottom Corey layer off, I also lose the entirety of the shadows. So it's going to look a little weird. I could do some smoke, which I'll probably do anyway, darken it up, and there'll be some VFX in there, but it just feels a little weird with no shadow. So that's why when I originally built this piece, started to build this piece in the timeline, I added this. Oops, wrong one. I added that power window mask to keep the shadow in place. So with that in there, shadow stays going up, but we also lose all the stuff up here that we didn't like. So, there's our looking good. darken it up a bit. And, yeah, probably a vignette over top. But yeah, getting there. This is like probably one of the most VFX intensive little bits in the movie in the first scene. So yeah, it's going to take me a while to do this one. I should have. I kind of jumped ahead to get to it because it has so much work. I'm going to probably jump back to doing some of the fight stuff that's just basic pow blam Batman's 66 type stuff with some anime speed lines and cool shit like that worked in for Barbie. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. A few people check in: Michelle Carroll, Brenda Jean Johnson, John Acosta, Joe Nero, Hugh Tran, Hugh, our gaffer, our key grip on Amityville Barbie. Awesome work. All the great lighting here is all Hugh's handiwork. I have to darken it up to make it darker, but we always like to shoot lighter because now I have lots of detail. I can always make it darker. I can't make it brighter and bring detail out. So there's one of your pro tips for the day. You know, even though horror movies are usually very dark, you tend to shoot a little brighter because you want to make sure that you capture all the detail, because you'd rather have the detail and be able to darken it up in post, because you can't brighten up and bring detail out that isn't there if the footage is too dark to begin with. So yeah, Hugh does a great job making sure everything's well lit. One of the best in the business around here. So all right, I'm gonna log out and get something to eat, do a little more work, finish decorating behind me here, all this, my new area and the new camera setup. So yeah, you can join me here. I will probably do some more Deadsville horror talk and some movie reviews, but yeah, I'll probably be here chit-chatting every day or every other day, because I just have this set up now here at my desk that's easy to just click it and turn it on. Yeah, and I'll make I'll get that organized too. All this clutter up here. We have too many collectibles. All right, that's going to be it. Stay spooky, and maybe I'll go live later. Have a good weekend, everybody.